Top 10 Things to Do in Bratislava, Slovakia. Long an important cultural, economic, and political center in Central Europe, Bratislava is the capital and largest city of Slovakia. Located on the banks of the Danube, just a stone's throw away from Austria, Czechia, and Hungary, its proximity to so many different cultures has had a profound impact on the city's look, feel, and identity. Besides the myriad of architectural styles and cultural influences, the city also has lots of fascinating historical tourist attractions for you to visit, with castles, cathedrals, and palaces found alongside its gorgeous old town. 10. UFO Observation Deck. Perched on top of the pylon that holds up the most SNP bridge, the flying saucer-like shape of UFO Observation Deck is one of Bratislava's most recognizable landmarks. From its futuristic observation deck, you can enjoy spectacular views of both the river below you and Bratislava Castle set upon a nearby hilltop. As it is also home to a restaurant, you can grab a memorable meal here while basking in the beautiful panoramas. Evening is a particularly special time to visit when the sun is setting and the city and castle light up before your eyes. 9. Michalska Brana. One of the oldest buildings in the city, Michael's Gate, as it is known in English, was built at the beginning of the 14th century and is Bratislava's only remaining medieval gate. Making your way through the narrow alleys towards it is an amazing experience as it feels like you've stepped back in time. Rising impressively before you, the gate's lofty tower reaches 51 meters, with a distinctive copper dome and spire perched atop of it. From inside the tower, you can enjoy lovely views of the city, as well as peruse some interesting exhibitions on the history of the city's fortifications. 8. Anubian Museum Art Museum. Although it lies a bit outside of the city, the Anubian Museum Art Museum is well worth visiting. Set on a small promontory that juts into the middle of the Danube, the museum boasts a fabulous collection of contemporary artworks by both Slovak and international artists. Founded in 2000 by the art collector Gerard Muhlenstein, it has a scenic sculpture garden for you to explore, as well as avant-garde and abstract art installations. It is located among some beautiful wetlands, with the Hungarian border lying not too far away. 7. St. Martins Cathedral. One of the largest, oldest, and most important churches in the country, it is here in St. Martin's Cathedral that many Hungarian monarchs of years gone by were coronated. Built in 1452 on top of an earlier Romanesque church, the solid-looking cathedral actually used to be embedded into the city's walls. Besides the delightful Gothic architecture, there are some magnificent stained glass windows, charming chapels, and a statue of St. Stephen inside for you to check out. Located on the edge of the old town, St. Martin's Cathedral is a just short walk away from Bratislava Castle that looms above it. 6. Bratislava Castle. Towering above both the Danube and Bratislava, the city's castle has stood in the same spot for millennia. Although records show that the hill has been inhabited for thousands of years, much of the current castle only dates to the 50s and 60s, when it was rebuilt following a disastrous fire. Because everything is painted a brilliantly bright white, it makes for a spectacular sight at night as its walls are illuminated against the sky. One of the most popular and famous landmarks in the city, Bratislava Castle is now home to an interesting museum. Wandering around its many rooms, courtyards, and gardens is a great way to learn more about Slovakia's captivating past. 5. Slavin. Built between 1957 and 1960, this impressive memorial commemorates and honors the Soviet soldiers who lost their lives fighting to liberate the city from the Nazis in the Second World War. Set upon a hilltop overlooking Bratislava, with pleasant gardens all around it, the memorial's 42-meter-high obelisk makes for a fine sight. The quiet and scenic hilltop is a peaceful resting place for the 6,845 soldiers buried in its cemetery, and the views from its gardens are some of the best in the city. 4. Hlavné námestí. Literally meaning, main square, Hlavné námestí is lined by beautiful old buildings. Full of fantastic architecture, with Gothic, Neo-Baroque and Romanesque features all on display, the square is home to a number of palaces and embassies, as well as the old town hall. In the center lies the Roland Fountain, which was built in 1572 by order of Maximilian II to provide the people with fresh water. With lots of bars, restaurants, and cafes found around the square, Hlavné námestí certainly has a lot for you to see and do. 3. Blue Church. Officially known as the Church of St. Elizabeth, Blue Church looks gorgeous and is one of the highlights of any trip to Bratislava. Built in 1913, almost every centimeter of the church is painted in a marvelous light blue color. This is what lends it its nickname. The elegant Art Nouveau architecture is a joy to behold, and its small tower and facade appear as if out of a children's fairy tale. The blue theme is continued inside as its colorful pews stand out delightfully against the crisp white of the walls. 2. Devon Castle. One of the most popular excursions from Bratislava, Devon Castle lies just under 10 kilometers outside of the city, at the spot where the Danube and Morava rivers join. While the castle is first mentioned in written sources all the way back in 864 AD, most of the fortifications date to later centuries. Looking out imperiously over the hills and rivers surrounding it, Devon Castle's now crumbling ramparts and dilapidated watchtowers long guarded a vital trade route that ran past it. From its prominent position on top of the hill, you can enjoy splendid views out over the countryside. 1. Old Town. The historic heart of the city, the Old Town contains many of Bratislava's most important and impressive sites and is the main place that all visitors head to. Getting lost is a great way to explore the center. Small, scenic alleys give way to large squares lined by elegant townhouses, pretty palaces, and fascinating historical landmarks. Besides its many marvelous medieval buildings and magnificent museums, the Old Town also boasts loads of fantastic cafes, bars, and restaurants. With a laid-back yet lively atmosphere, the Old Town has a plethora of incredible things for you to see and do.